I was just looking at the TikTok of the little female that was talking to the little boy. And she told him that big boys don't cry. I know a lot of people was having a whole uproar about that, but if you ask a man, he would say the same thing. The reason why he'd say the same thing is because the world is not gonna baby that boy. Crying isn't gonna get him anywhere, and on top of that, nobody respects a man that's crying. I'm sorry. So, can a man cry? Yes and no. Yes, because you need to do that shit when you to yourself by yourself when nobody else ain't looking. There's no point in you doing that shit in public. If so, you will be perceived as weak. And that's from females, that's from men, that's from everybody. That is how the world is. And there's no point in sitting up there trying to coddle that little boy, knowing that he's going to eventually become a man, and we know how the world beats up on men. I was always told the same damn thing, and any other guys in which I grew up with, we was all told, hey, you ain't gonna be doing all that damn crying like no little female. Suck that shit up. And the majority of my childhood growing up, we wasn't crying. We was just tough. We was a lot tougher than the kids are today. But there's no point in sugarcoating anything with this little boy. Yes, we all have different parenting skills, and some may work better than others. But I don't see an issue with any of the guys in which I grew up with. And we grew up with strict parents and strict uncles. Our uncles didn't play that shit. You couldn't be with no little boy running around here all that fucking crying. No, they wasn't gonna have that shit. It just wasn't gonna happen. So what do you want to do when it comes down to this? Do you want to lie to the little boy, tell him that it's okay to cry? Or maybe she should have specified it, you know what I'm saying? Let him know, like, if you gonna cry, take that shit somewhere else and do it amongst yourself. So nobody can actually see or hear you do that shit. So therefore you can't be judged by it. I know it sounds fucked up, but at the end of the day, you a man, and that's how they gonna treat you at the end of the day. You can ask any man that's walking this earth right now and before, you will not be respected if you are crying all the fucking time. You don't even have to cry all the time. All it takes is once. And if you ain't never dealt with no female and cried in front of a female, all it takes is that one time, and she'll never respect you again. She'll look at you as being weak. Why you think that mother was telling her son that? Come on, y'all. There's more to this shit, man. We so sensitive nowadays when it comes down to parenting and shit like that. You can't raise little boys like females. If a female is crying, society looks at that as, oh, she's an emotional female. If a man cries, you can't be an emotional male at all. Man and emotional, that shit don't mix. This is the reality of the world that we live in. So why lie and tell him, oh, it's okay to cry? Anytime you don't get your way, anytime something go wrong, anytime you just feel like crying, you could just cry. Cry. It's okay. You're not gonna be looked at different. You're not gonna be treated differently. No, it's okay. It's cool. That's a fucking lie. All you have to do is go ask a man. Any man. And he'll tell you the same thing. So, was she wrong? No. And if you think otherwise, then that's perfectly okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody has different ways of parenting.